Hi and welcome to my space. So today I'm bringing you a book haul. So I've been trying to rebuild my library of fiction books, having gone through a huge spate of decluttering over the last 2 years. My fiction books kind of suffered. I got rid of most of them, and I inadvertently, I think, also mixed up in the charity shop trips, got rid of a box of all my favourite books because I can't find them anywhere. So I think some of my fiction library, which I thought I'd never get rid of, is gone. So doing Goth Lit November, beginning to watch BookTube, which I am loving. I decided I wanted to rebuild my fiction library again with replacement books and with new books, and to read the classics which I stopped reading all the way back in my early 20s. So it's been so much fun. Today, as part of rebuilding those bookshelves, I want to show you a magical book haul. Magical because I didn't pay a penny for any of these books. If you want to watch book content with very limited budget, where all my books come via the freezer because they're all secondhand, this might be a nice place for you to sit. I want to start doing books from the freezer, so secondhand book hauls. I also want to start looking for libraries as well to use, various libraries around my locality in England. So really excited. But back to the magical free book haul. Free books, you might say. Where on earth did you get those from? From my local charity shop just down the road. I was in there perusing the bookshelves, as I always do. The books in there are 3 for £1, so they're so cheap anyway. But the woman from behind the desk crept out and whispered in my ear, "Do you read supernatural books?" Yes, I said. In fact, I was looking for a supernatural book on that very visit, and she handed me a gigantic bag of books. She told me the owners here are Christian. They want all of these books put in the bin. I can't face doing it. Just take them. She gave me a gigantic bag of books to go back to the car with. They are all on my bookshelf. Where's my bookshelf? There behind me, which I recently cleared to start building this library, and they are these books here. So I'm going to take you over to the bookshelf. I want to show you just how many books were in that haul, and I'm going to show you what I got. It's really nice to have got a dedicated bookcase for fiction books. All of these books on here, they were either books I already had second hand, or like these classics. Like, look at those vintage classics down there, 3 for £1. There's a load of Dickens down there. Like, if it's 3 books for £1, you just can't leave it, can you? Now, this top shelf, I've currently got all the books I'm selecting from for Goth Lit November. So this has been my November reading, which is fantastic. Here, guys, these 2 piles of books are what she handed me for free in the bag. I did leave a donation because it is a charity shop, but even so, it was just like, it was almost free. So I'm going to get these down and we're going to have a look at what's in there, because to be honest, they've been in the freezer, they've been cleansed, they've been wiped down. I always put them in the freezer for at least a couple of days, then I wipe all the front covers down when they're out of the freezer, and then I cleanse them through smoke. So that's what I do before they go on my shelf. But I've not really looked at them properly yet, so let's have a look at what we've got there. I literally can't believe how many books there are. 18 books, and I left a donation of just a few pounds, which she didn't even want that, but I insisted. So 18 books. Let's have a look what we've got. So I've spoken about this before. If you've watched any of my videos before, then you will know that this is the book that made me squeal out loud in the shop when I opened the top of the bag just to have a little peep, because I had just finished reading Anne Rice's The Witching Hour for my October read. Lasher is the next book in the series, which I didn't have. You can tell by the state of this that this was a charity shop find as well. And it was in my Amazon basket ready to buy new, but I do have a limited budget, so I thought before I spend that money, let's just walk down to the charity shop just in case. And there it was, sitting in this free bag of books, the same edition as well. It's right up on the top of my to be read pile, because I've just finished The Witching Hour. So that was amazing. So the next books I got a series, and I don't know anything about this series, but it's a series of 3 books by Garth Nix-Liriel. I think I've said that right. I mean, these books don't look like they've even been read. Horson. I might be butchering these names. And Sabriel as well. These are fantasy books, which I love. Are they YA? I don't know. I think they might be YA. I don't know even which one comes first. Okay, editing me here. I did a little bit of research for those of you that are interested. So these are YA fantasy, and I really have a soft spot for YA fantasy, so I'm really pleased about that. And this is the order that these 3 books come in. You've got Sabriel first, Liriel next, and then Aborson third. I read that this can be read as a standalone, but you won't understand this book without reading Liriel. So this is the start of the series. So Sabriel was written in 1995. This came next in 2001. This came next in 2003. In 2014, there was a prequel novel written called Clariel. Then in 2016, the 5th novel in the series was written called Golden Hand. And then in 2021, a 6th novel called Tertiel and Eleanor was written. So there are another 3 books that I haven't got in this series. So that's a bit more information about it if you are interested in a YA fantasy series. I'm really excited about this, guys. Oh my gosh, we get a map. Love a map in a book. It says, who will guard the living when the dead arise? Sabriel is the daughter of the mage Aborson. Ever since she was a tiny child, she has lived outside the wall of the old kingdom, far away from the uncontrolled power of free magic, and away from the dead who won't stay dead. But now her father is missing, and Sabriel is called upon to cross back into that world to find him. Leaving the safety of the school she has known as home, Sabriel embarks upon a quest fraught with supernatural dangers, with companions she is unsure of, for nothing is as it seems within the boundary of the old kingdom. There she confronts an evil that threatens much more than her life, and comes face to face with her hidden destiny. Wow, it says on the front of this one, the last hope for the living. A tale of dark magic and destiny. It sounds blinking fantastic. So that was in the bag. And there is another series in there as well. There is a series of 3 books called Dark Secrets. So we've got Dark Secrets, Dark Secrets 2 and Dark Secrets 3. I'm not sure, I have to say, what to make about the covers. It's by Elizabeth Chandler, best-selling author of Kissed by an Angel. I have no idea what they are about. Again, it's quite spaced out text. So is this YA again? It says 2 girls haunted by the past and destined to relive it. In Legacy of Lies, Megan has to stay with the uptight grandmother who she wants nothing to do with. She's determined to get through the visit without any drama, but when she falls into a twisted love triangle with potentially fatal consequences, Megan may be caught up in her family's legacy in more ways than she realises. Oh, I see. So it's a book called Legacy of Lies, and then Don't Tell. Then in Don't Tell, Lauren knows that by returning to the town where her mother drowned 7 years ago, she'll be reliving one of her most haunted memories. When she arrives, she is propelled into a series of mysterious events that mimic the days leading up to her mother's death. Maybe her mother's drowning wasn't an accident after all, and maybe Lawrence is next. So are there 2 books in that? Front of book 2, it says No Time to Die and The Deep End of Fear. So it looks like there are 2 books in here, one following a character called Jenny and one called Kate. This looks like it is just a single story. So these might be sort of small books or mini stories. I'm not sure what to make of these, guys, but we shall find out. Okay, editing me again. So I did a little research in these, and they are like bound up books with more than one novel in these books, but this is the complete series. It is a 5-book series, and you can see the names of the books here: Legacy of Lies, Don't Tell, No Time to Die, The Deep End of Fear, and The Back Door of Midnight. And I also found out that this is classed as YA mystery fantasy romance. So there's a lot going on here. Who knows, they might be good. So 3 books there. Another one I was super excited to see in there was another Anne Rice. So this has got 2 books in here again. It's got Pandora and the Vampire Armand. So this is, I don't know if this is part of Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicle. I think these are 2 books that were written at the end of those, but I'm not sure. And again, look how nice this book is. Look, it's no cracks on the spine at all. So Pandora says, in a cafe in modern day Paris, in the aftermath of a fresh kill, the fearless and beautiful Pandora begins to tell her tale of treachery, vengeance and love stretching across 2 millennia. As a young mortal in Imperial Rome in the time of Caesar Augustus, Pandora was first introduced to the blood-tainted cult of Isis. Later, in exile in Antioch, she was drawn even further into the dark, ancient rites. Now, looking back across the centuries, Pandora decides to return once more to New Orleans to find the love of her early life. Oh, so that sounds like a vampire love story in that first book. And then the Vampire Armand looks like we're back in the setting of New Orleans, which is the setting of the witching hour. So that will be fun to read as well. So really excited for those. I've not read any of Anne Rice's vampire books. Okay, the next book made me giggle. This is definitely not a book that I would have bought. Look at the cover. Nightwalker by Connie Hall. Never read Connie Hall. This looks like a vampire love story again. In the ultimate showdown between light and darkness, who will triumph? So we've got a character called Striker and a woman, it seems, called Takala. All her life, Takala hoped to find the mother who'd abandoned her, but she'd never expected the woman to be a shadowy double agent in the underworld, nor did she anticipate falling for the very vampire who wanted her mother destroyed. I don't think that would cross your mind, to be honest. That sounds like a really interesting read. The cover would normally put me off. Perhaps I'm a reading snob, but it was free. It'd be nice to give that a go. Right, this one is by Frances Hardinge. It's called Cuckoo Song. A dark and twisted fairy tale from the award-winning author of Fly By Night. Oh my gosh. I read Fly By Night with my daughter and we loved it. And it was really tricky reading, but it was well worth the effort. So this is going to be a possibly children's fiction, but don't let that fool you with this author. Her writing style is incredibly descriptive, if it's anything like Fly By Night, and quite complex to read. I know that we had to read through it twice to actually fully get Fly By Night, and it was wonderful. My daughter ended up doing a whole sketchbook with sketches for each chapter. It was just such a wonderful summer read. So I'm really excited that this is by her as well. So it says, the first things to shift were the doll's eyes. Oh my gosh, I'm surrounded by dolls. No, I'm a doll collector, if you didn't know. The beautiful grey-green glass eyes, slowly they swiveled until their gaze was resting on Triss's face. Then the tiny mouth moved, opened to speak. Who do you think you are? This is my family. Oh, when Triss wakes up after an accident, she knows that something is very wrong. She is insatiably hungry. She keeps waking up with leaves in her hair, and her sister seems terrified of her. When it all gets too much and she starts to cry, her tears are like cobwebs. Oh my gosh, how awesome does that sound? So excited about that. Again, this next one, just the cover would put me off. But they do say you should never judge a book by its cover. So this is a book, Nightworld. I see this all the time in charity shops. The Nightworld is a secret society of vampires, werewolves, witches and creatures of darkness, a place too dangerous to fall in love. Okay, so this sounds like it is going to be another vampire love story, which isn't something I've read, so who knows, I might adore it. So again, with a bit of research, I realised that I missed the fact that this is 3 books in one, which kind of makes me a little bit nervous, to be honest, all these little mini books joined together. So this holds the first 3 books in a 10 book series, guys. The first 3 books are Secret Vampire, Daughters of Darkness and Enchantress. The other books are called Dark Angel, I think, The Chosen, Soulmate, Huntress, Black Dawn, Witchlight and Strange Fate. So there are 10 books, I think, so far in this series. It's classed online as YA fantasy horror romance. Again, that mixture of genres makes me nervous, but I did find a short synopsis of the series which sounded really, really good. The synopsis said that in this series, vampires, witches, werewolves and shapeshifters live among humans without their knowledge, making up a secret society known as the Nightworld. The society enforces 2 fundamental laws to prevent discovery: never allow humans to gain knowledge of the night world, and never fall in love with a human. So we will have to wait and see. It isn't one that I would have bought myself, but who knows, I might really love this kind of sort of supernatural horror romance genre in YA. I'm not sure, we'll have to wait and see. Okay, the next thing that I found in there was a Philip Pullman, and again, this book does not look read at all. It looks brand new. The second book in his Dark Materials trilogy, which I've never read. So this is, it's a kid's book, I think. I am quite excited that this was in here, because the week before, in a different charity shop for 50p, I picked up Northern Lights just because I adored the cover, and this is book 1, so I've got book 1 and book 2 in a trilogy now. So I've never read it. I know it's fantasy, isn't it? The most ambitious work since Lord of the Rings, as intellectually thrilling and as it is magnificently written. Without this child we shall all die, so the witches say, but she must fulfill this destiny in ignorance of what she is doing, because only in her ignorance can she be saved. Sounds fascinating. So that was another one. Again, another book that doesn't even look touched. Look at this, it looks brand new. This is Ellie Griffith, The Dark Angel. Dr. Ruth Galloway is off on a working holiday to Italy, but the hilltop village of Castello degli Angeli holds secrets as dark as any buried in the Norfolk marshes. Italian archaeologist Dr. Morelli has unearthed a 2,000-year-old grave with a difference. The skeleton inside has a mobile phone. He persuades Ruth to come to Italy to investigate his impossible find. Oh! So, set in a graveyard, set in an Italian graveyard on a hilltop. doesn't get much better than that. Then we have another book, look at this, that also looks completely unread. This is called Burn Mark by Laura Powell, Ancient Witchcraft, Modern World. And it says, I'll win or I'll burn, whatever it takes. Glory is destined to become a witch. When she does, she's going to make sure her East End coven is one to respect and fear again. But a dangerous mix of conspiracy and betrayal raises the stakes. And then Lucas Stern, rich, privileged, and a potential witchfinder, enters her life. Now, Glory and Lucas must put aside their differences to form an uneasy alliance and fight for their lives. Sounds great. So another good one. So I have 3 left. This one looks amazing. This is by DJ Taylor. None of these authors, apart from Anne Rice and Frances Hardinge, I haven't read any of them apart from those 2. So this one is called Kept, a Victorian Mystery, by DJ Taylor. I love the cover. Look, you've got a little mouse on the back. How cute is that? A stuffed bear, a pet mouse, fraud and felony on the streets of London, and strange goings on in the fens, full of suspense and teeming with life. Kept is a Victorian mystery about the curious things men do to get what they want. So mystery. Oh, I wanted to have a go at reading some mystery novels in January because it's a genre that I've not read, so that's fantastic. I don't know why they would have thrown that out. Perhaps they didn't realise what it was about. This one is by Juliet Marilia, Daughter of the Forest. So gorgeous black cover in like a rose petal finish. The keep at Seven Waters is a strange remote place guarded by silent men who slip through the woodlands clothed in grey and keep their weapons sharp. Invaders roam outside, raiders from across the sea bent on destruction. But now there is also an invader inside the keep. The Lady Una, a sorceress as fair as day with a heart as black as night. Una captivates Lord Colum and his 6 sons, but she cannot enchant his daughter Sorsha. Frustrated in her attempts to destroy the family, Una binds the brothers with a spell only Sorsha can lift. If she fails, they will die. When the raiders break through, Sorsha is taken captive. Soon she will find herself torn between her duty to break the curse and a growing forbidden love with her captor. Oh, so this is part of a trilogy. I wonder if I have the first book. Oh my gosh, we have a map. So a sorceress and a forbidden love affair and a spell to be broken. That sounds really good as well. So I just googled this book to see if I'd got book 1 or not, and another edition came up and I realised I've already got them. I thought I recognised the name of the author. So I bought these on one of your guys' recommendations. I think sometime last year. I got these, I think, from either Abe Books or World of Books. I think they were something like £1.50 each online. And I got them all at the time because I didn't want to start reading the series and then not be able to find them, because these I think were harder to find. So I've already got it. So this can go in my little stash for when I go out looking for little free libraries to leave a book in. So I always like that when I've got a book that I can do that with. But this, look how different those 2 copies look. So I already have all 3 books not read. I've got loads on my TBR. My physical TBR list is just insanely ridiculous, but wonderful. I think having unread books around is just so exciting and comforting, I think. So yeah, I've already got those 3, so there you go. And then the last book is by Cornelia Funke, and it's called Inkspell, and it is an international bestseller, which I have never heard of. It was £7.99. The price is still on it. Again, it doesn't look like it's been read. Oh, the sequel to Ink Heart. Okay, this is a sequel. This might cost me the first book then. A year has passed, but not a day goes by without Maggie thinking of Ink Heart, the book that came alive. When she discovers that Dustfinger, one of its characters, has found a way home, she knows that she must follow. But what is waiting for them between the pages of this dark, enchanted ink world? So, is this children's fiction or YA? So I googled it, and look at these beautiful copies that came up, and you can also see there's now 3 books in the series, and the age range, it says from years 8 to 12, so it might be too young for me. I might read the first chapter of the book I've actually got to see if I want to get the other books. But I have read children's fiction before. The book The Seven Sorcerers comes to my mind, that is like a under 12, and it was so scary. So I don't know. Let's just try the book I've got, a few chapters, and I'll decide from there. It's got lovely illustrations in the front. Look. Oh my gosh, look at this, all the characters. This is beautifully done. And now in Inkspell. So look at the chapter headings, aren't they just gorgeous? And we've got these beautiful illustrations all the way through. Sounds great. Okay, I was just about to sign off, and I spotted this on the shelf as well. This was part of the bag as well, so I missed one. Again, it is a book with 2 books in it, The Wine of Angels and Candlelight. It's by Phil Rickman, and I've just read the back, and I'm completely amazed that it says that it's set in Ledwardine, which is a village by where I grew up, near the Welsh borders in Herefordshire. It's in Ledwardine. I can't believe it. I might almost drive us to Ledwardine to read some of this when I come to read it. So, yeah, another double book set in a village that I know. So that's really exciting. So that's it, guys. That is my stash of free books. So there's lots of sort of vampire love stories. There's a mystery, there's witch books, there's unexplainable skeletons in Italian graveyards. There are books that help me complete series that I haven't read. There's a favourite author to read. That one sounds fabulous. Books I'd never try, books I was searching for, and authors that I love. There are complete series as well to read. So what a incredible free book haul. I hope you enjoyed looking through that with me. I have lots more book hauls coming your way, also catch-ups for library visits, and also catch-ups for Gothlit November, also catch-ups with some of the tarot decks that I've been using as well. I hope you will stick around for all of that, but thanks for watching today. It's much appreciated, and I'll see you next time. Bye.